Welcome, my name's Jack. I thought I'd give a few thoughts here on the Anet A8 printer that I've had for a month or two, and I've been enjoying it. A little bit on the good, the bad, the ugly, so really no bad, but we'll cover the other ones coming up here. Some on construction, and then afterwards some other things I've done. The first one that I wish I'd done a little bit different was the threaded rods. Just checking to make sure that they're straight before you put them in. A marble countertop, you have a table saw with a steel flat deck on it. Just roll them across there a little bit. Just make sure that they're not bent or warped too bad. Then when you go to get ready to install them, these couplings down here, they don't tell you to move those up, loosen the screws. In your kit you have these little ears that go up here on top. These are right at 5mm, and I found by using that as a gauge to put that underneath and set those couplings first at that height. Take your rod, mark down another 5mm, and set that, put the set screw in there. This screw will just not quite be at the very top here, so let that work. Something I noticed right out of the box was that my heated bed here, the wiring to it, in watching the videos and also their instructions, it shows a single red wire and a single black wire going to the heating bed. Mine came with actually two red wires and two black wires, so I think that they found a little something there to improve that. I do believe in removing that connector and soldering your connectors directly to the bed. We'll just keep one weak point down from overheating. The next one I came across was the holder here for the extruder and the servo motor. They have you install that, then they ask you to put the two screws in that you're going to hook your belt up to. You can't get them in there. You're going to have to wind up taking the extruder back off, so you're going to wind up putting that in there. Install the screws, then install the extruder again and the servo motor, and you're ready to go. The next one is when you install your display, they have you put the acrylic piece on the back of that, and I found that when I put mine on, my display would not read. I took that acrylic piece off and it worked okay. When you put that on, put a nut on there as a spacer. So you do have your spacer that goes between the acrylic frame here and the board. Put a nut on there, and then if you want to put the acrylic, the pins are a little bit too long, and so I could have gone in and probably cut them down, whatever, but I just put that nut in there and then applied the acrylic piece back on the back and put another nut on that. So that'll cure that problem if you have it. The modifications. A little bit on that. I did do this mod, and I will probably do one for the heated bed. But these wires for the extruder and the fans, they were fairly hard to get up through there. After I got everything put together, it took me a couple hours. I got thinking, what happens if I have one fan go out, or if I have the extruder or servo motor go bad? I've got to disassemble every bit of this. I think now in hindsight I would have probably kept my wiring just in a bundle, used the wrap around it, and brought it over like that, just used it like that. Keep it simple. The bed here, it would be a little bit easier, and I would probably go ahead with that one. One mod that kind of interesting, they call it the Z-Mod Warble. They put some bearings up here on top, and I'm not quite sure why, so if you want to comment on that, please do. My theory, and I'm a little bit of an engineer, was that you want to keep this rod perfectly straight, and if there's any movement at all, you want it to go ahead and be able to move a little bit. And that's why I say check it for, make sure that they aren't bent. Now if they're bent, you got a problem. But if there's any slight warpage, minimal, I don't think you want to hold this solid because it's going to probably put pressure against this rod here. And these are the ones that you want to keep perfectly straight so that Z-axis can ride up and down. So just my theory, I'm not a believer in this bearings that go up here on top of the thread rods. Another quick one I do recommend is the H plate down here. They talk about reversing that. That's fine. It still makes this built have a little bit of an arch to it. There are some mods to hold that built and lower that down another millimeter or two to get more of a direct line. And also when you get a chance, I would recommend getting to the fiber built material to reduce the stretching. Something that I've found out was after you've printed a project, and of course the first thing you want to do is you want to get in there and get it off the heated bed. And I've seen them use these razor blades and go in there, you get them a little cheaper ones at the dollar store. If you have the time, best thing I found is just shut it off, let it cool down, and you'll take your hand in there and the thing will fall right off once the heating bed cools off. One thing I did do to kind of make sure that this was level, and I probably should have started by when I built the first part of the frame, putting that on the marble countertop or something that was very flat. And of course I tightened all the screws up, and when I got to the table, I put it on there and I could feel just a little bit of rocking motion. I built the table. I can't believe that it's warped, but probably is just a touch. But to kind of cure that, they've got this material at Walmart. It goes underneath rugs, and I kind of cut it out and sit it down, and that gave it just enough. And I was hoping it would also kind of maybe quiet it if there was any type of vibration. It would quiet that down. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up, but hopefully I've given you some ideas in the construction of it, and also some things to maybe follow up and make it a little bit better after you get done with it. The good, the bad, the ugly, I think it's a good printer for the price. I think it's a great entry level. The bad, I don't think there's that much to it. You get what you buy, and I think it's great for the price, so I don't think there is any bad. But the ugly, well, it's all that wiring over there on the by the computer. Just make sure that you leave enough slack in there to, as all your axes go, that nothing binds up. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.